Thank you for joining us on Idaho State of Mind, where we endeavor to educate the citizens of Idaho on the state of higher education. I'm Libby Howe. This is a production of Idaho State University, and we are proud that the majority of the show's content is created by ISU mass communication students. On today's show, we're talking economics, or more specifically, what higher education adds to the economy of Idaho. You may be surprised. The money associated with universities around Idaho is staggering. We will take a look at the dollars and cents being sent back into communities, but perhaps even more interesting are the social benefits that a university brings to the state. And that takes us to our top story. Idaho State University recently conducted its first economic impact study in over a decade. This study brings to light some interesting facts about ISU's economic output. Similar studies at other universities in Idaho revealed similar results. Idaho State of Mind's Lisa Santos has the close-up look at ISU's study.
In an attempt to discover just how big of an economic footprint ISU leaves in the surrounding communities, two Master of Business Administration students, Kevin McMurtry and Corey Howerton, conducted an economic study.
The community depends on what ISU brings in terms of research and funding and the ability to draw students that not only have their education here, but then go and spend money out in the economy here locally. So it's a win-win situation for both.
The students compiled majority of their information from the financial statements that Idaho State University gathered for fiscal year 2010. This critical information was obtained from the Office of Institutional Research. The indirect and induced economic output from operations, employee, student, and visitor spending is estimated to be about $312 million. ISU alumni that live and work in Idaho spend about $874 million in our communities. This money fuels the housing market as well as other local businesses such as grocery stores and fast food restaurants. ISU is currently Bannock County's largest employer.
I think that people should look at the university in its totality. It's not just about having 15,000 students. It's about the entire quality of life that this area has because of the presence of Idaho State University, its faculty, staff, and students.
From Old Town Pocatello, Lisa Santos, Idaho State of Mind.
The economic impact study also revealed that out-of-state and foreign students who move to Idaho and enroll at ISU bring $18.5 million to the state's economy each year. The dollars and cents of what goes into and out of a university really shows in an economic impact study like this one. But ISU isn't the only university contributing to the state's economy. University of Idaho and Boise State University also give a good slice of the pie back to Idaho when talking about cold, hard cash. Together, Idaho's three state universities contribute $937.7 million to Idaho's economy each year. Now, when you add up alumni from all three universities who choose to stay and work in Idaho, they boost the state's economy by nearly $2.5 billion a year. There are a host of social benefits to any community with college graduates. Studies have shown that the higher level of education you have, the less likely you are to be unemployed, commit a crime, or be obese. Having a university in your town also increases civic participation and racial tolerance. Idaho State of Mind's Chris Cole shows us the social benefits of universities.
Anybody who graduates with a bachelor's degree in Idaho is expected to make almost 69% more in wages than those without one. That's just one fact from ISU's April 2011 Economic Impact Study.
I decided to take a walk around to find out how ISU helps the community of Pocatello. Let's start here at the Marshall Spreer House. ABC's Extreme Makeover Home Edition chose to help the Marshall Spreer family for one of the episodes. Now ISU's involvement? 8 full tuition scholarships totaling $225,000 and about 1,000 ISU volunteers. And finally, here in the Oberler Library, anybody from the community can come in and use the resources of the library for free. All you need is a valid ID.
The library is not the only place on campus that has provided Pocatello with services for the community. The Stevens Performing Arts Center has brought in many different musical, theatrical, and cultural events. With these services, ISU combines the benefits of being a student with those of being an alumni, and you don't even have to buy a parking pass. On the ISU campus, Chris Cole, Idaho State of Mind.
Well, ISU employees are also the biggest contributor to the Southeast Idaho United Way campaign, with employees donating almost $50,000 in 2010. Since college graduates tend to be healthier, there is a direct economic benefit to the state for each graduate. The lifetime savings in public health care costs for each person with a bachelor's degree is nearly $17,000. The health benefits to the state are magnified with the addition of ISU's many health care clinics located in Pocatello and Meridian. Idaho State of Mind's Chris Gabitas introduces us to ISU's stroke clinic in Meridian and the Idahoans benefiting from its services.
Carla Churchill was a cardiology nurse at St. Luke's Medical Center when she suffered a stroke 3.5 years ago. For several years now, she has participated in ISU Meridian's Adult Aphasia Group, a program offered through the Speech and Language Clinic. Churchill says she has met new friends who have made a difference in her life.
I do want to be with the group, and the graduate students are very kind.
The group meets twice a week. It's led by clinical faculty and graduate students in the Speech-Language Pathology Master's Program. Graduate student Carrie Ormsby says the clinical experience is invaluable.
All of our undergrad work is textbook, but now we get to put a face to it, and I think that putting that face there and understanding that, you know, not everything is textbook. I'm getting much more experience understanding the human side of it.
On a recent Tuesday, stroke survivors spent time finding out about each other. They shared photo albums of recent vacations and talked college football. Jim Bell showed the group a cane he had made, the handle shaped like a fish. Clinical Associate Professor Beth Gurian says the greatest misconception about people who have aphasia is that it affects their intelligence.
That is not the case. That the most frustrating thing about aphasia is knowing what you want to say but not being able to effectively express yourself.
She believes the sessions are making a difference in people's lives.
One of the things I see people coming here, they're smiling more. They're smiling
because they realize they are not alone.
We all are friends.
Chris Gabitas, Idaho State of Mind.
Joining us today to discuss the ISU clinics and what they have to offer is Dr. Linda Hatzenbuehler. She's the Associate Vice President of the Division of Health Sciences at ISU. Dr. Hatzenbuehler, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's my pleasure.
Not every university has the wide variety of clinics that we have here at ISU, do they?
No, and it's one of the unique things about coming to ISU to study in one of the health professions is that we have a wide variety of clinics for students to begin their clinical careers. So we have clinics, for example, in the oral health professions. We have dentistry as well as dental hygiene. We have mental health clinics, counseling and psychology. We have physical health clinics, things like family medicine, occupational therapy, physical therapy. We have rehab kinds of clinics, speech language pathology, audiology, and we have a wellness center where people can help build up their immune system and so on and be healthy so that they don't have to go to clinics.
There really is everything.
Exactly.
That's wonderful. And anyone can come to the clinics?
Yes, the clinics are community clinics, both in Pocatello on the ISU campus as well as on our Meridian campus in western Idaho. So they're open to the public. Many of them are open year-round, and they're full-service clinics.
About how many people a year do we serve in these clinics? Because I know that Idaho's healthcare system is overburdened, so this must be a little bit of a help for that.
Last year we had 40,000 patient visits across all 12 of our clinics, so it's quite a few people. And we do offer sliding fee schedules for certain clinics, and we charge insurance in a few of the clinics except Medicaid patients. So it really is for the full community. So the two purposes of our clinic, one is, of course, to provide clinical experience for our students, but also to provide service. to members of the community who might not elsewise have access to service.
And that's one thing I do want to talk about, are those medically underserved. There are people in the community that just don't have the opportunities to get the health care that they need, and these clinics are helpful in that way.
They are, yes, but we do serve the full array of patients from almost birth until senior citizen years, when people have other kinds of issues to deal with. So it's a wide array of people that we serve across a wide array of healthcare fields.
Wonderful. Now you've mentioned that there's this huge array. There's some clinics out there that most people wouldn't necessarily think of, like there's a stroke clinic in Meridian, I understand.
Yes, our rehab school focuses on stroke and rehabilitation, and it may be with respect to speech, it could be with respect to balance and so on. And so yes, we have many services that are not easily available. For example, our balance clinic here in Pocatello is a unique one, where people with balance problems of various types can come, and they're diagnosed by our audiologists, but then our physical therapists do some of the interventions to help them improve. Falls are a huge issue, and in fact a big piece of the healthcare burden in our country. It costs a lot of money when people lose their balance.
Well, and that's very interesting that we're looking at interdisciplinary work here as well with these clinics.
Yes, and that's one of the other experiences that you can have as a student at ISU, is the opportunity to work not just with professionals in your own chosen profession, but with the other ones as well, and it gives people just a really unique education here on our campus.
That is very valuable. Let's talk about that student experience. As we mentioned, not every university has the opportunity for students to work in these clinics. How valuable is it for students to be able to have that real life experience?
Well, when they reach the point in their career where they're ready for the real workforce, healthcare workforce, it's really of value to have had, first of all, clinical experience, of course, under the mentorship of faculty, but also to have interdisciplinary opportunities, because as we move forward in our new healthcare system, healthcare teams are going to be much more part of the whole system, and our students are going to have an edge up on that.
That's wonderful. Dr. Linda Hatzenbuehler, thank you so much for joining us today. You really are involved in some excellent work that helps the community and students to evolve.
It's an exciting place.
Great, thank you. For more information about the university clinics at ISU, go to our website at isu.edu/Idaho State of Mind. The ISU clinics support the community in both Pocatello and Meridian campuses, yet the clinics aren't the only way that a university can be a contributing community member. Idaho State of Mind's Elaine Washam takes a look at how one small business benefits from its next-door neighbor, ISU.
The Coho Coffee Shop is a business literally built around a very specific customer base, the university population. Located only 1 block from ISU, the founder, Philip Murphy, felt that this building needed to be a coffee shop years before it opened up. So when he was able to open about a year ago, he made a student-friendly environment. In the past summer, he helped the ISU Saudi Arabian population by hosting Ramadan events.
And so we sort of have adjusted our schedule to try to help them out. We had a Ramadan dinner a couple of nights in the beginning.
Students who come here just about any Friday or Saturday will find entertainment, from speed dating to a variety of live music. But any other day, a friendly place to grab an energy boost and crack those books.
We're exclusively inclusive. We prefer to include everybody.
Pocatello Mayor Brian Blatt acknowledges that having a university in a town is invaluable to a small business like the Coho.
When you have an economic downturn, the university is going to continue to go, and in fact, you have more students come. So it helps small businesses and large businesses alike.
But he also realizes that these businesses are invaluable to the students.
The students want to get out of the classroom, but they need a place to study. You know, and they need a place that they can visit, and these coffee shops, you can do that.
At the Meridian campus, things aren't much different.
Having the students there as well. They frequent our Meridian businesses, they've added energy and excitement, And so all of that has been a welcome addition to our community.
ISU Meridian also was a key step in the CORE, a cluster of health-related businesses committed to building the economy through education, research, and technology.
And certainly, having an education anchor to the CORE has been extremely important.
As the university thrives, these communities thrive, and the Coho welcomes another year as ISU's neighbor. At the Coho Coffee Shop, Elaine Washam, Idaho State of Mind.
ISU's economic impact study was conducted by Bengal Solutions, a company operated within the College of Business by MBA students. Idaho State of Mind reporter Deanne Coffin is live in the studio with more. Deanne, what services do Bengal Solutions provide?
Libby, Bengal Solutions offers consulting services to local businesses. It is the mission of the College of Business at Idaho State University to stimulate economic growth in southeast Idaho.
MBA students at Idaho State University get real-life experience in the business world.
The real-life experience is what you would meet after your MBA. So it's nice to have an insight into that aspect of your life before you actually go into the real world.
The students' previous work experience has enhanced their ability to work with their clients.
Because of my previous work experience, I've been able to know how to relate well with clients, being able to find out what exactly they need, depending on their different situations, and how best we can meet their requirements or their needs at that time.
Bengal Solutions has worked with companies such as ON Semiconductor, and one of their most current clients is Brooks Internet Software.
We're a technology company. They brought in business technology, and so they brought us a lot farther than we've been able to get on our own in how to look at your business and things you need to focus on.
Clients have seen improvements in their business since working with Bengal Solutions.
The staff is engaged to do things that we've always considered not something we need to be involved in. Now they're up to speed and doing it, and they're responsive to me whenever I talk to them about it.
Clients also feel like Bengal Solutions is invested in their business.
But they're very invested in our success, helping us go from being a small company who did things this way to a better small company who is also doing things this way.
Bengal Solutions gets thumbs up with Brooks Internet Software.
Very professional, very competent. I'm very impressed with the quality of people who are engaged in the MBA program.
MBA students are also impressed with Bengal Solutions.
So it's really an awesome experience, and anybody would be transformed by this experience, transformed and humbled actually by this experience.
Businesses that work with Bengal Solutions get help making those crucial decisions to improve economic growth. Bengal Solutions has also helped students solve real business problems. New jobs and business opportunities help students be more prepared for the workforce. Libby?
Thank you, Deanne. Well, Bengal Solutions ensures the quality of its products through faculty, mentors, and client feedback. Bengal Solutions provides services in 3 different ways. They have undergraduate teams, MBA teams, and an independent MBA consulting group. An associate professor at ISU will find it much easier to research advanced radiation detectors. The Department of Energy awarded about $2 million to Dr. Eric Burgett. It was a coup for the professor. That's 5% of the total amount of the Department of Energy of what they gave to universities. This will help further the nuclear engineering program at the College of Science and Engineering. One major factor in receiving the grant was the new IJRC Research Center at ISU. The new center offers opportunities for multidisciplinary research that wasn't possible with the previous facilities. Overgrazing has always been a problem for local farmers, but a new study from ISU researchers says otherwise. Most farmers keep their livestock in a pen and feed them hay instead of allowing grazing. Surprisingly, researchers found the grazing actually benefited rangelands. The study found that short-term grazing had 10% more soil moisture than other sites. The study was funded by a NASA grant and was published in the Journal of Arid Environments. In the West, conserving water is key, and a 10% increase in soil moisture is considered quite significant. The average college student spends about $570 in textbooks every semester. Through these doors, the Idaho State University bookstore is saving students money by letting them rent their textbooks. This last year, ISU students were saving up to 55% on new books and up to 30% on used ones, cutting their textbook costs almost in half. A student only needs a credit card, licenses, and be 18 or older. In the 2010-2011 school year, students attending ISU saved over $1 million. This rent-a-text program launched by Follett Higher Education is available at more than 850 schools nationwide.
When it comes to classes that you don't really want to keep the notes for, sociology, anthropology, maybe there's some sociology people that want to keep it, but I'd rent those, and I wish I could go back and rent those.
With the rental books, they have that instant savings up front. They just need to remember to return it to us at the end of the semester.
You can also rent and save up to 50% by getting your textbooks digitally. Altogether, this program has helped students rent more than $2.5 million of textbooks. That's a savings of over $110 million. Well, who says you can't change the world when you're only 22? Certainly not ISU student Nate Murphy. He's an ISU junior, and he's also the newest member of Pocatello School District 25's school board. Nate joins us here in the studio to talk about his winning campaign. Thank you so much for joining us today, Nate.
Thanks for having me.
And let me say congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
Now, you ran and beat the standing board president. Tell me what made you decide to run for the school board.
Well, it was a bit of an involved process. Starting in about March, I started considering it because there was no one running against Marianne. And as I went into her voting record and saw some of the votes she took, I realized there was differences between how we would treat teachers in the school district. And about the time in March when I realized no one was running, I started having conversations with my friends, some of my family, sort of feeling out maybe running this campaign. Most people thought it was nuts. But we ended up getting a group of people together who believed in the same things, and we ended up winning the election.
Was it a little bit intimidating going up against the board president and being 22?
very much so. But as we got on people's doorsteps, we realized we were the only campaign that really had a heart in it. We ended up knocking a little over 8,000 doors. And by the time we had reached that many people and heard that many people's concerns, we had a pretty good idea of what we stood for and a pretty good idea of what we could do on the school board. So even though it was a bit of a surprise, the victory, looking back on it now, it seems about right.
That's great. Now you're a poli-sci major. Yeah. Did that help you at all in the process, whether it was the campaigning part or as you're moving forward?
It definitely did. Like you said, there's the two different parts. Learning about things like campaign finance, learning about how politics works and how local politics works, helped me with some of the mechanics of the campaign. Then the second part would be the just public policy knowledge that you garner from being in those classrooms all day. And that really helps me be able to apply some of those sort of contemporary thoughts and modern ideas to the school board service.
No, that's great. Now, you're on the school board. Do you feel like the other school board members take you seriously, or has it been kind of a fight to be taken seriously?
I'm sure my age shocked some people at first, but the school board works wonderfully together. All the members really respect each other, and we have good deliberations when we come to our different decisions.
Great. What advice would you give to someone else maybe who's out there and they're 21, 22, and they're thinking, you know, maybe I would like to be involved a little bit more and, you know, going into a campaign? What would you tell them?
Well, I hope they do run. Leadership bodies need to be a diverse group, and many times our generation and my generation doesn't get represented in these groups. For example, in our state legislature, our youngest person is in their 40s. And the advice I would give them is to go and volunteer in some campaigns, meet some of the local politicians and people who are involved in politics, and then don't be afraid of using your age as an advantage. Youth is something that is not indicative of one's abilities, but I think a youthful vitality and energy can really help reshape politics in a better way.
And apparently they don't need very much money to run a campaign. I understand you did a $10 campaign.
That's true, that's true. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. Start hitting up your family for money now if you want to run in the future.
What was your strategy then? It obviously wasn't money.
Well, we knew it was going to be an election where we just needed to find a core group of people and turn them out on election day. Given that we didn't have any money, it was sort of, now what? So we decided that our only strategy would be just to one-to-one conversations on people's doorsteps and hopefully garner enough support through that method to win. And we ended up doing that by 9 votes.
That is wonderful. Congratulations. I just think it's exciting that here we have an ISU student on the school board.
Thank you.
Good luck in all your future endeavors.
Thank you very much.
And thanks for joining us. A new study being conducted at ISU shows that hit reality shows such as The Biggest Loser and Celebrity Fit Club may actually lead to decreased physical activity among the show's viewers. This is known as the couch potato effect.
The couch potato effect is the idea that watching somebody else accomplish their goals actually leads to demotivation or renders you less likely to complete your own goals. But this happens non-consciously, so you're not aware that it's undermining your performance.
Dr. McAuliffe plans to continue the study by conducting experiments involving sports to see if the couch potato effect causes similar reactions. On another episode of Idaho State of Mind, we will be talking about getting heart healthy. We'll have a nutrition specialist in to help you know what foods make your heart happy, plus how high school students are getting ahead in their post-secondary education. If you know anyone in high school, you won't want to miss this information. And that's all for this episode. Thank you for joining us. I'm Libby Howe with Idaho State of Mind. We'll see you next time.